Well, good morning, everyone. I wanted to put together a video on how Lightburn relates to the laser engraver. In other words, the work area here and how it relates to the work area on the engraver. So, in order to, when I first started with Lightburn, um, it got kind of confusing for me anyway, where my project was on Lightburn as opposed to what was going on with the engraver. And it, I just had, it was just frustrating trying to get everything to match up correctly and get things centered and whatnot. So, with playing with Lightburn, I figured out how to make it real easy to get your project centered and have it burn correctly every time. Okay, so I thought I would share that with you because I know that a lot of people are now just getting their laser engravers and trying to get Lightburn figured out and whatnot. And I touched briefly on this in the very basic video that I made here a week or so ago. So I thought I would touch on it again and kind of show you at the laser engraver what it's going to look like and how it's going to work. Okay, so in order to make this, to follow along and make this work in your situation, you're going to have to set a couple things up. First off, where it says on the laser tab, if you don't have this up, you can go Window and Laser and open that up, and then you will see this tab here. So what you want to do is you want to have where it says start from, okay, you want to use current position, and job origin, you want that centered, okay. So what that means is wherever the laser engraver is, when you open up Lightburn and go to burn something, wherever the laser is sitting, that is the center of your project. Okay? So now, I know you're saying, well, how do I know that my project is centered under the engraver? Okay, there's a real easy way to do that, and we'll show you that. So if we go open, I'm going to find a little project to work with here. All right, let's get this one. All right, so here's a project. Let's say I want to burn this on a coaster or whatever, or an ornament, let's say. All right, and we know that our ornament is 74 millimeters. So we want to make sure that this is a little bit smaller. So we're going to select it, and as you see, it's only selecting part of it. Okay, because there's multiple pieces that make this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to come under Edit and hit Select All. Now you can see that the whole bit is selected. Okay, and to make it easier on ourselves, what we're going to do is we're going to group it. So now the next time that we click on it, it's going to click the whole thing, and we don't have to go back to select all. All right, so now we need to make this 74 millimeters. So what will come over here, and we're going to change this to 74. All right, so now, and it's not perfectly round, so you see that it kept the properties, and it made it a little bit smaller on the height, which is just fine. All right, so now we have our piece made to the correct size. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come up over here and we're going to get a circle. And holding the shift key down so that we can make a perfect circle, we're going to do that. And we want to come over here and move our circle. It doesn't matter if it's centered right now. And then we want to make that just a little bit bigger than our um, than our design. So what we're going to do is, with it selected, we're going to change the size, and we're going to make it about 75. Okay, 75, 75.5 is fine. Okay, so now you see that it is just a little bit bigger than the ornament itself, or the design. Now we can see that it's not quite centered. So what we do is we click on our design, hold shift, and then click on the circle. Alright, now we go over here to align selected objects vertically, align vertically center, okay, and then we align horizontally center. So now you see that the ring is centered, or you can say that the ornament is centered in the ring. Okay, so now what we're going to do, if we wanted to burn this, I don't have my laser connected to this computer, so I'll show you that here in a minute on the on what that would look like with the laser and the computer, but I can kind of demo it here. So what we're going to do is we're going to, on the output, we're going to turn the line on, and we're going to turn the pattern off. Okay, so now if you were to preview this, you would have a circle. Okay, so what you're going to do is get a piece of wood, scrap piece of wood or whatever, and we can tape it down to the surface under the laser and create the circle. Now, when you're done burning the circle, you come back over here and you do the opposite. You turn the circle off, turn the design on, or the whatever, and then when you go and burn it, you're going to burn the pattern and not the circle. Okay, so I'll show you on the engraver what that looks like, and hopefully this will be helpful to you. I know that there's other positions and things that you can do with this, but because the engraver doesn't have homing switches, that can get a little bit confusing on how to set all that up, and I haven't quite figured that part out yet. And as I've mentioned before, I'm still learning. Um, so doing it this way, I found, is the easiest way to go, and you will have a perfect project just about every time if you follow the instructions. So what we'll do is I'll show you what it's going to look like on the engraver, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the Facebook group, and I'll be sure to try and help you out. All right, thanks for watching. All right, and we are back. And as you can see, we are at the engraver. And what I've done is I've taped a piece of wood down to my surface. And as I showed you a few moments ago, what I did was I turned off my pattern and I set it to burn the circle. All right, so now if I don't move my laser, right now where it's sitting is exactly in the center of what's going to be the pattern. So now, to make this work, all I have to do is slide my ornament under here. I've already set the height for the focus, and what I do is I just make sure that that's centered on the circle, and now I can go ahead and start the engraver by, like I showed earlier, turning the circle off and turning the pattern on. Now, when I burn this, it'll be perfect. And then I can just slide it out, and I can slide in a new one, okay, line it up, and I can do it over and over again. And I've done that with these ornaments I made. So I made a bunch of them, okay, and it was real easy. Now, some people have said that I've showed this to, some people have said, well, because I'm starting in the center, I'm losing all this work area. And no, you're not. All we're doing is giving the Lightburn a position to start from. Okay, so even though you're starting in the middle of your work area, you still have the whole work area to work with, because all it is just the center of your project. So you're not losing any work area at all. Doing it this way, I mean, you could have it down here. Okay, it doesn't matter. Um, and something I forgot to mention on the uh, previous part when I was showing you on the computer, when you um, go to burn this, you're going to get an error that or a message that says that your project may be out of bounds. Would you like to continue? And as long as you know that you've got this set up right, you can hit OK and you'll be fine. Okay? And as long as it burned the circle fine, then you can go ahead and click OK and you'll be perfect. Okay? If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to ask me in the Sculpfun users Facebook group, and I will do my best to answer. And thank you for watching.